We have new tour dates to announce. North Carolina, people. Yes, Laurinburg, North Carolina. July the 4th. We're going to be celebrating Independence Day by celebrating our military women and men, our veterans, our first responders for the first annual Liberty Fest in Laurinburg, North Carolina. You can buy single-day passes or, of course, 3-day passes. You're going to be able to camp on ground, of course, and also enjoy multiple stages of music and ATVs and fun for the kids and for the adults. If you're just listening, I just made the drinky drink. Anyway, would love for you to join us. It's all available in the show notes. And of course, check out the official mug of the funeral profession, but also you can check out some brand new Nathan Morris, that's me, merch, right down linked below. Grab you some swag, grab a bag of swag, by the way, because you are my label. I'm an independent artist. Yeah, 13 years in the funeral profession, inspired all kinds of music and songs that went top 20. 2 singles went top 20 at Billboard, yeah. And I'm grateful for you streaming all of the music. All of it's linked below. You picking your poison, whether streaming the music or buying merch, support me and help me keep the lights on. And I appreciate that. I really do. I look forward to meeting you at a show. Look forward to meeting you anywhere in which I get the opportunity. And that's why I meet you right here on this 196th episode of You'll Die Trying, a show which pulls back the curtain, takes down the walls brick by brick, and exposes the hearts, the true hearts of those caring for those you love most. And I can think of no better opportunity than what I've been given in this platform to meet some of the most incredible individuals, and it is amazing. And as always, be sure to join us, the Triers Club. Yes, don't have FOMO, first looks, first listens, exclusive drops like my next single I released to our Triers. Yes, you have different versions of membership, and only Triers get exclusive discounts and free stuff all the time. Free stuff. Click it in the show notes. Become a Trier. I would appreciate it. And it's much because of social that I've had the privilege to meet Melissa Mel. She's on the other side of the world. She's in Australia. I would do an Australian accent, but it tends to go to the British sound, which is weird. Maybe even it's a disaster. But I was scrolling through social media and I see this beautiful artwork. And then I see more beautiful artwork. And then I see this beautiful human, and I wanted to connect with them. And our worlds collided because of the power of social media and because of what I did this particular day. And I tell you to do every single day, it's to show up. Even when you don't feel like it, even when you don't feel like creating and curating or whatever the aiding you're doing. I showed up. I connected with Mel, and we had an incredible conversation. That is what this episode 196, is about. All the way from Sydney, Australia, I would love to introduce to you my friend, Mel. Long story short, TikTok went nuts 2 years ago. A video right at, I guess, post-pandemic. And then everybody found my music. So we're here because social media is super powerful. And by the way, LinkedIn's kind of the sleeper, it's kind of like the sleeping social media. I mean, there's a lot of opportunity there for sure.
I'm just starting to realize it now. I was just on the phone with my girl actually before. I wish she was with me on this podcast, to be honest. She's beautiful. And I am just starting to really discover what LinkedIn is. It's huge. I was just before us. I just spoke to someone in Toronto who's wanting my art, and he just happened to see my work last night on LinkedIn. You don't know who's watching. It's massive.
You don't know. That's interesting because where I was a few weeks ago, well, Grammy Week was in, of course, West Hollywood, and there's this beautiful gallery. And I saw all these beautiful pieces, and then shortly thereafter, you popped onto, I don't even know how it works. I'm still learning LinkedIn, but that's how we connected. And I believe in this unique ability, opportunity. It's weird how I don't know if you've experienced this. Have you experienced it where you've been scrolling through social, whichever platform, and you feel like I could be their friend? Have you had that moment? Okay,
Yes.
because
Very
that's what I shared that with you. I was like, there's only like a few people. My friend Kayla Diamond,
yes.
and so I'm just grateful for you being here, and I wanna, if I may, because this is about you. So what I always like to ask why first, but however, where are you? Where is home?
Okay. I'm in Melbourne, Australia. Um, and can I just quickly say, I want to say thank you to you because it's all about energy. And for me, it's energy. When you connect with someone or something like that happens, like you just said on Instagram, there's a feeling that you get and you follow through with that. And more often than not, it's always right.
It is. I read something, I think it was Steven, whatever his name is. He's that really handsome Indian guy with the blue eyes. I don't know if you've seen him. He's like the
Oh yeah.
podcaster. He said,
Yeah.
"Go if you feel something in your gut, go with it, figure out the details later." I was like, "Cool." With
That's
anything.
exactly that's it. That's me
Yeah,
to a T. That's so true.
absolutely. So
Yes.
you're from
Yeah,
Melbourne and you grow up, do you go to, is it public school, private school? Is it similar to that in the States?
yeah, yeah, the same thing. There's public or there's private. I'm Italian, so growing up, born here in Melbourne, Australia, but full Italian. Um, and it was kind of tough growing up as a youngster because where I grew up in Melbourne. It was very Anglo, very Australian, and so lots of blonde blue-eyed girls and this little spicco, we call it spicco, they're called wogs here. I don't know
Did
what
you
you what
experience, okay, yeah.
massive, massive, massive. They en listen, I say this with a good heart. It was really tough because my dad was quite colourful and I went to quite a few different primary schools as a young girl. So I had to fight. They were all Aussie primary schools. So I had to fight my battles with every school because it was like the colour of my skin. They're like, ew, you're dirty. Go back to your own country. You don't belong here. It was full on, but I would just punch them in the face, each primary school.
That's
No joke.
amazing.
I was
I just punched him in the
thrusting.
face. That's awesome.
Just Right, and then everyone had wanted to be my best friend. So it was quite, I don't condone
So that's
I
the
do not
answer. Just
give
if you
that.
get bullied, just punch him in the face one time, and then you become friends with everybody.
Uh,
You figured it
I know,
out.
right?
You figured it out.
We've lost all that then. We've lost all that now. You're not allowed to
It's true.
touch, not allowed to even hug anyone
Yeah.
anymore. So, yeah, we've lost a bit of that. But in my day, that's how you had to fight or yeah.
Did
So, yeah, it was tough, but I loved it. It also gave me a lot.
did that so you feel like that shaped you? Like, are you? Because I feel like
It shaped me in a
yeah, I didn't mean to speak over you because of
yeah.
the delay, but I feel like a lot of the upbringing is similar situations, bullying, and I've never, I grew up in a prominent white community, but I also grew up in a home
Yeah,
where
well,
we were taught to love everybody no matter. I remember being a little boy and my
yeah.
mother saying, "It doesn't matter if someone's purple, you love them." And I was like, "When would I ever meet anybody purple?" But I remember, it's so anyway, I just wonder if that did that create
Yeah.
a chip on your shoulder or frustrations?
No, I tell you what it's done, and it's real I'm only listen, probably the past 5 years, I'm starting to realize so much. I loved because 'cause I'm on the beach. I live right across the road from the beach, and that's what this is a place called Beaumaris, and it's a beautiful part of Melbourne. It's out of the city. My gallery and my studio's right in amongst all the cool vibes, let me say, but this is where I grew up, and it's right across, like, it's all ocean. Um, what it what it did is I was quite ashamed to be Italian as a little girl, so I would come home and because we were full on Italian, and I would tell my grandparents and everyone not to talk Italian to me because they came to this country and they need to start a I go to school with all these Aussie kids. I don't want to talk Italian. So of course I speak dialect, not well either. But that was part of the problem growing up. I never wanted anyone to speak to me in Italian at home. except for when I was with all my cousins and stuff and with the nonni, grandparent. But then I was ashamed of my surname, La Bozetta, because they couldn't say it in the schools. It was so embarrassing because they were all Smiths or, you know,
So white.
white.
Jones.
Yes, Jones,
Yeah.
exactly, Nathan. It was so so the teacher couldn't even say my name. She'd go, "Melissa La," and I go, I'm here." So they didn't have to say my surname. It was anyway, it was quite yucky. I must admit, I still feel that moment, all those moments. That went on for 7 years in school. Um, and then I grew up and I started to realize who I was, and I went to Italy and I met my family and, um I had this epiphany. Oh my God, I love this. This is me. I'm Italian. I'm passionate. I'm a bit crazy. I'm not like these Aussie kids. So all of a sudden, this La Buzzetta name, I just wanted to scream it out to the world. And that's when I started creating women, actually. I started really getting into my portraits and because I really started to love myself. And um, it's interesting, and that's why my name now, Melissa Labuteta, is I'm so proud of it.
What does your
I don't
name
know how
mean? What does your name mean?
well, I should have actually got myself organized this morning because I've forgotten what my Labuteta name means. I've got a scroll of it somewhere, but it is power, strength, honor. There's all these incredible meanings to that particular name, and it's La and then space, Bozetta.
Bosetta.
So
Bosetta.
Bozetta, sì. La
Well,
la
it's
Bozetta.
looks beautiful. I'm big on, like, the way things look, and you were saying that you were doing a lot of females after finding essentially yourself and loving yourself, so there's I love art. I didn't realize that I don't wanna say I have an eye for it, not like you, but I have so many
Yeah,
different
I think
have so many
you
questions,
nailed it.
but you graduate school. Do you go to college? Do you go or have you always done art? When did that bug bite you?
Okay, so here we go. So at the age of 4, so I mentioned to you I had a colorful father, and without having we can have another podcast one
We
day,
can have
Nathan, because I'll
therapy.
make your hair curl.
I'm right there with you.
Well, no, we can
No,
have
we can have
therapy. I
therapy.
love it. This is
That's
therapy.
amazing.
This is therapy. No, I'm about to say we can do another podcast because I'll make your hair
Mm.
curl. My dad did yeah, some really anyway, he's still alive and I love him dearly and I want to respect that. But let's just say I had a really colorful upbringing and he was so strict I wasn't allowed out. So I couldn't even go out and play with kids. And 4 is the most I can remember, and I started to draw, and it just made me feel happy because all the kids are outside playing, and I'm not allowed to go out there and play. That went on forever. So when I say forever, right up until I was 15, all my friends are out mucking around on the weekends, and I'm not allowed to go out. So drawing was my thing. So I wanted to be a illustrator for children's books. That was my dream. Because I drew cartoons from 4 to, I say, 17 years of age. It was all cartoons. My whole bedroom was covered in drawings and wall to wall. It was, yeah, everything. But in high school, because I went to a public high school, my Miss White, would you believe her name was, she took me into a back room because I copied the back of a book once for an essay. And she took me into the back room and she just belittled me like, oh, she went to town. I'm dumb. I'm stupid. I'm never going to amount to anything. You think you want to do this? Well, it's never going to happen. Oh, it was just horrible. Oh, anyway, I there was 2 things that happened that day. I wanted to, you can imagine, I wanted to punch her in the face, right? Eh?
Should've. That's
But
the solution.
I know, right? I know, right? The second thing in my mind, I'm like, well, I can't go and study art because I'm going to fail. So I wish I was the woman that I am now. But of course, as you know, I'm still going through all these different things as a kid, not knowing myself and all these things. So I left school halfway through year 11. And I look back now and I think, geez, I wish I could pick her up and say, you're not going to, you can do this. But anyway, I left. But how I did this, I got myself into a college here to do accountancy. It was so off the track. And it was like a little diploma. Do you have to, did I say diplomas
It's like a
overseas?
yep.
They're
If you
like a,
leave high school early, then you can later get what's called a GED. Yeah.
okay, so that sounds like it's a
Yes.
similar thing, right? So I went off and did that, and then just I don't want to go to bore everybody. And then so from that, I got all these credits and distinctions, and I thought, okay, I'm going to go and do hotel management because our family was all in restaurants and pubs, and so I went and got into Swinburne, which is a university, to do this hotel business degree, and got into that. And then I started doing all these courses on the side. And I knew in the back of my mind, I'll become this artist my way. And here I am. I did. I just went around everything. I've done every single course, Michelangelo, Picasso, Rembrandt, all the main composers, artists of the Renaissance and the early times are who are my inspiration. And I've studied them back to front, and I've just drawn my way to here.
That's so when you're a kid, you have what you have, the experience, there's this level of bullet. You kinda had to grow up quicker, and then you have this
Like,
isolation that creates this well, it's already there. I believe that there yeah,
I agree.
it's there,
So I
and I believe that we do the world a disservice when we don't share it. I really do. Do
agree.
you remember the first time you started sharing your art with people?
As an adult,
Did it scare the hell
yes.
out of you?
And no, it scared the hell out of everybody else because I started doing all these nudes, and everyone's like, "What are you doing? You're not gonna sell that." Or yeah, but then in the next breath, my besties, my friends were like, "Oh my gosh, Mel, wow," So I actually that's and see this is what built in that young girl
Mhm.
resilience. So I don't no one scares me, Nathan.
Do
Nothing
you remember that
scares me.
switch?
Nothing.
Because honestly, my switch has been the beginning of this year. I had the most
Oh,
traumatic 12 months prior to this. It's where social media blows up, the company's massive, and it's almost like pick your pill, red pill, blue pill. My marriage was,
well,
uh, over and going through that, and then you have people are experiencing, I don't know, social media blowing up. There's no book for what happened of this massive growth,
wow.
so there's a lot of, jealousy and just unrest in so many
Yeah.
aspects and untruths and whatever, but I remember this year, it was January, where I am like, a big F you to the world, and it's the most freeing, is it not? And you experienced it, it seems, quite some time ago.
I was
It's
younger.
amazing. It's probably the
Yeah.
best
Yeah.
gift
And
that you can receive and or give yourself.
it so is,
Yeah,
isn't it, Nath? Because the ones that love you and truly want to be around you show up. You know, fuck everybody
amen.
else. I get you. And you can feel them, right? I still feel the ones that are jealous. I still feel the ones that are getting on my Instagram and going, "Oh, look at her with you." I don't give a fuck.
And
I
and
don't
we're the
care.
and the thing is, like, the creative people, the ones that are artistic and have had I'm not one to compare apples to apples, I don't do that, nor do I point
No,
fingers, but we're the ones that are the most receptive, inclusive. It's very odd. It's very weird. I feel like
I
that's the cross we bear, but being Italian is a beautiful thing because I've been to Rome and, Assisi and Florence and Siena, and I will
yeah,
never forget the woman at the, gelato, right? Gelato?
yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
She was
Gelato,
she
bravo, well
was
done. Yes.
beautiful. She worked there. She comes up and she goes, "I love America." She grabs my face and she just kisses me. and I was
See?
16 years old. I was like,
Yeah,
I'm fucking staying here. I'm staying here." It was amazing.
I can stay
there's
here.
so much beauty, in your culture and your heritage, and there's so much love.
There is so much
Mhm.
love. And that, that's the states oh God. I love you, Nathan, for
There
saying that
is.
because yeah, right? Two things. It'll make you laugh. So we not so long ago, because I'm in Morris, and like I said, they're all of them, and there's a lot more Italians and Greeks and that around now, but still very Anglo. Anyway, where we were before this house, my next door neighbors, and I loved them. I loved them so much. But I was this fiery artist, crazy. I would scream, yelling at my kids, just giving it.
Mhm.
And I every couple of days we'd all see each other in the street and I go, listen, don't ever think I'm killing them or murdering them. It's just me having a go. And they're like, hee 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 hee, giggle, giggle, giggle. Never been out of Australia. Then not so long after, they went across and they traveled to Italy. And when they got back, they came to my house with a bottle of wine and flowers and said, Mel, now we understand you. Oh, it was. I'm even getting
Mhm.
goosebumps now. It was the most beautiful moment. And that's true because everyone lives in such a bubble here in Australia or wherever people are from that don't get to travel. And they don't realize there's a big wide world out of there. And we're all so different, but it's beautiful, and um yeah, I'm proud of it.
That's
I'm
awesome.
proud of it.
Do you ever get being a creator myself, I went from, we had 12 funeral homes. I sold the company. That is essentially,
It's massive.
it's yes. I mean, I'm not from the profession, and in 6 years we acquired and grew, and yeah, it was amazing. It was such a rapid growth, but there was also this level of, safety. It was just it felt too safe. You know what I'm talking about. Being an artist like you are, you rely on your
Oh,
works showing up
yeah,
every day, grinding,
yeah.
social media interactions, whether it's you putting up a gallery somewhere for you to pay your
Yes.
bills, to live your life, and to thrive. Do
Yes.
you not ever get
Yes.
just I don't wanna say nervous, but that's the only word I can think of. Do you ever feel like, "Oh my god, I'm" do you ever have moments of concern? Or is it to the point now you're like, "It's totally fine. I love it."
Yeah.
It's
I am.
interesting. I'm not there
I
yet, by
really
the way.
am.
It's amazing. I don't know.
Oh, you should
I
be.
don't know
You
why.
should be. You should be. And like, we haven't even delved into you. I can see a real there's a lot that's
There's
gone
a
on with
lot.
you.
Oh,
Oh my god.
if you looked back in the very beginning of my TikToks, whenever it was
I mean,
I wasn't well, and then last July, I was not good. If you looked at my face, was like gone. I mean, I looked like I was on drugs probably. No, I wasn't. I don't do drugs. I was
wow,
just so heavy and
sure.
sad,
Just
and it
yeah.
was
Yeah.
everything to everyone,
Um,
and it's dance monkey, and that's what I was gonna talk to you about it in Australia. You all have your customs, especially being Italian, you have your funeral customs, and I'm sure you've been exposed to grief, sadness, maybe perhaps very close to your family.
many. Yeah,
Yep,
many.
and being on the other side of the table, the funeral
Oh,
professional,
oh,
you carry it in this backpack, and
of course.
maybe I don't think it's just me, but I would think it's all the directors, but you don't pay attention to it. You keep going. You care for this family as if they're your own. You choose them over your family, which is the demise of relationships. It's the most odd thing. You become everything for everyone else, lose yourself, and the you know, I was in mortuary school, and for a class assignment, I had to call a funeral home owner anywhere in the United States. Me being me, I was like, "I'm gonna call someone in Washington State." So the furthest west you can go, or talk to this man for an hour. Very kind man. He and his wife were partners. for 28 years, ran a successful company, raised the family, and they're going through a divorce. And he's telling me on the phone, young man, whatever you do, don't allow this profession to get in between.
Oh,
And I'm like, I would never do that. I would never do that. And he said, I looked up one day and we were just business partners. And he was grieving and he was going through this. And then it happened and it happens. And
well,
and then so in July, when you sell the company and you look and you're like, you know what? I don't care. I'm done. I'm done with it. You think, what was all of that for?
what?
What was it
Yeah.
for, you know? At the cost of what? And so that's what I'm going back to what I said January. It's the profession has afforded me this opportunity, whether you have much, whether you have little, whether you're brown, whether you're purple. I genuinely want to sit with you and meet you where you are in this moment because we're humans. And holy shit, that's the coolest thing that we have this opportunity to just interact.
It's incredible, and you know what? You've just now I understand
Yeah.
you. I you're on the beginning of a very beautiful journey, and I now I understand because you've just said it, what, 3, 4, 5 minutes that just took you to tell me that little bit of the story compared to everything else you still need to probably express to me, but I get
Yep.
it. There's so much in you and you wanting to give and share and it's almost like you are giving back, giving back, but taking, but also gaining so much for yourself. I like, I don't know. I just
Well,
feel it. I'm just
I
feeling it.
appreciate it. It's I say this word and I'm like, I need to think of another word. I say I'm obsessed with people realizing that they're loved.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. That's
And at the
beautiful.
cost though
I
of
and
even self-love, self-care sometimes, right? And that I think that there has to be this balance, but I do believe that you can healthily love with just everything you have the way that I do, but also, there's a book called The Art of Holding Space, and I think that's a great book. I don't know if you've ever heard of it, but people who are creative and artistic, they tend to not do a great job at holding space or tend to be like, "Come here, let me help you. I'll fix everything. We'll make it all better."
mhm,
And then it just energy vampires,
yeah,
they take all of our energy.
yeah. They take our energy. That's it. There's suckers. I'm very similar to you. I'm big on wanting people to know they're
Mhm.
loved, like massive. To the detriment of my own. Sometimes it, I lose because of it because I just want others to feel good, and that's got a lot to do with my dad, and because he did some horrible, horrible things, and I think I'm still making up for a lot of my dad's
Do
mistakes,
you
but
think it's is
that's
it
okay,
her
right?
is it if I laid it on a timeline, is it familial, his dad as well?
No, his dad was beautiful. There was 7 in my dad's family, 7 kids. My nonna, my grandmother, used to say he was born wrong. My dad was just born wrong. Because out of the 7 kids, he was the crooked
Yeah.
one.
And that's sad. It's interesting, it's all on a timeline for us. My dad, his dad, his dad. It's like break
Yeah.
the fucking cycle already.
Yeah. Multi.
And, my brothers and I'm the middle, of course. My brothers and we did, which is awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah,
child.
I'm of course the middle
Yeah.
child. You said you had a sister? Is that right?
I got a older brother, and I was actually a twin, but it didn't survive. So, that's pretty cool. And then I've got 3 kids, and I had twins, and it's supposed to skip a generate. It's supposed to skip the mother, my but I had them, so it's quite
That's
frequent.
awesome. Now, and your children do you feel comfortable to share their ages? Okay.
Yeah, the twins are 15, boy and girl twin, Charlie and Sam. Charlie girl, Sammy boy, and my 3rd, so I had 3 kids under the age of 2 at one stage. My 3rd is, she's 13 now,
Wow.
so she's not. Yeah.
So I want to go back to your art. I said, are you nervous to share this? And people are nervous to receive it because it's the body. Oh my god. Are people is it
New.
similar in Australia the way that it is in the States? It's like, "Oh, well, we're gonna sexualize it on TV and streaming and all that," but whenever you are in person, I'm like, "Look at my art." They're like, "Oh, that's" is that where how it is?
Yeah. Yeah. I look, it is a little bit in Australia like that. So I have the statue of David, a really
Mhm.
big stone statue in my window of the gallery. So David's penis is pretty much the first thing people are
Absolutely.
seeing when they walk. And I love it because you get all these little Aussie kids going, "Look, it's a penis," and they'll
It's like,
you
set
know,
the
and
tone. You're coming in here, you're gonna get it.
it's
Yeah.
brilliant, right? And I have to be honest, it has been so well received, the Aussie community and all of that. But it's quite multicultural in Quran, so it's really good for me, where my gallery is. Um, and yes, it still gets the wool, but it is there's a couple of other artists around me, Aussie artists that are doing the nude. So it's not so full on anymore. It's becoming a lot more and I do really beautiful
It
abstract
is yes, I
and
wanna
I
say
think
that because
think
I was looking at some of your pieces, if that's the right word, and it was just so it's elegant. It's it's
yeah,
it's elegant, and
yes,
the human body and I remember being a kid, this may not translate well, but I remember being a kid, and I've always been just so appreciative of people. I've always been so respectful of people, their bodies, their body types. I remember being drawn to
yeah.
redheads when I was really little before it was cool. And I remember
That
James, I
is
remember
gold.
Alicia, and I remember Katie. They were so Irish and they were so redhead. I just loved their hair. But even as an adult, I, I'm respectful. I'm not quick to uh look, so to speak. So I can look at art. Either way, I
Yeah.
look at art, even if I've seen David in person, which is amazing.
Oh,
And I admire it for its beauty. And so I think if people can get to that mindset, it's a gift, really.
agreed. Agreed. It is a gift. It's and just like you just said, you can appreciate it for what it is, and that's all you have to do. That's all anybody has to
Do
do.
you,
Because my like you said, there's such style in my nudes. I don't it's not explicit, it's just up.
a lot of yours that I saw, there's no face. Is that right? Or
Yeah, that
okay.
recently, I'm loving it because that's a whole different level. It can there's an, who is she? What is she? So that's I'm drawn to that. I'm just drawn to creating the powerful emotion in them, and then they get to the face, and I'm stopping myself. So I'm loving it.
Your art, didn't you have like a huge canvas or a sheet? Is that right?
Yeah,
Okay. So,
yeah.
alright, so you have a blank I'm gonna call it a sheet. So you have a blank sheet. What's your process? And action.
I s Action and action. I just get pencil and start drawing. I would have already sat down and or weeks coming up to this blank canvas, um, sat down and done some research or looked into my works and see what I'm feeling, if it's a commission or if it's just something that's going to come from me. So I already know before I get to the canvas, but at the same time, I don't know how I'm going to start. So um, I just get the music on, get my pencil, and
What
begin.
music?
And I
What
do.
music?
Yeah, interesting, Nathan. You're going to love this. So right now, my playlist is. You want
This
to
gonna be
know?
interesting. Yeah, I really do.
Yeah. This is so I have different every couple of weeks. I create new playlists with dates on them. And at the moment, it's January. So this started in January, this playlist. Uh, Um, let's go. Come on, here it is. Okay. At the moment, it's Will You Be There by Michael Jackson.
Hmm.
La Cateria Tatera. with Julio Iglesias. Do you even know who
Yes,
Julio?
yes.
You do not. Do you really?
Yes. Do you know what my favorite song is? And I'm not gonna say it right, I'm not, but it's, Andre Bocelli, "Con te partir
Yes.
ro
Oh,
Time
yes.
to Say Goodbye." It is
Yeah,
the most beautiful
yes, yes.
song
Conte
ever.
it
Yeah.
is. Actually, I think it's on here. Let me
I I can listen to that
oh,
song
no,
on
I've got your
repeat.
oh, so okay, you're feeling me. So there's a mix in all of these. So then there's John Paul Young in this. There's a young man here in Melbourne who's up and coming called Jack Rose, and he's got this really cool song. Disco by Ottoman, Vienna by Ultravox, Back on 74, Jungle. Then I got Harry Styles because I
Oh,
love
yeah.
Harry. So yeah, it's but listen, so what will happen any given day with any particular piece? So I'm creating a Renaissance series at the moment, and there is a lot of old music that I'm listening to. A lot of Italian music I'm listening to, of course, because I'm creating all these old sculptures, Venus and Aphrodite, um, the Three Graces. I'm just, yeah, having a bit of fun. I don't know where it's going, but I'm having a bit of fun.
That's fun to think about, and you just have you're unapologetically going for it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's when the really good stuff happens.
It is.
Every time I
It
filter
really
myself,
is.
every fucking time, there's this internal pull that I feel, and I can feel whether I acknowledge it or not, I get frustrated. And it
Of
takes me a
course.
few days to come down from it. It's like,
Yeah, wow.
why am I holding myself back?
I know. Because we're worrying about other people, right? Still,
Yeah.
but it go back to what we said before. Still so much of us doesn't. There's still so much we have to kind of yeah, it's just constant, isn't it?
Yes.
Just knocking,
I wanna talk about the
grinding and
the research part because okay, and you said something about a commission. So your commission, people could come into your gallery and say, "Hey, I want you to commission me,
me,
me." So let
which is exactly what
That's
happens.
what the research would be, right? They're not
Yeah.
are they ever going to stand before you? You know, kinda like what I've seen in school where they stand and there's a nude model and you just you draw them quickly. Do they do that?
So I've done that, but what I prefer to do is I take the photos. So they'll come in and it's a bit of a process. We have a little glass of wine and then I tell them to take all their
Yeah.
clothes off.
Yeah.
And it's quite, yeah, right. So a lot of girls are, you know, at the age, they're very confident for me and they'll get their gear off. But, I'm also getting a lot of that 50 to 65 aged woman that still feels really proud of themselves. And this is the first time they're about to get their clothes off and do anything like this. So I love them. And because with my story, I'm the best person for them to do this with me. So they finally get comfortable and then we just have fun. And I capture the photo that I want to create. And they're always happy with that. I do give them a few options. And then I work from that photo because I've taken the photo. It's not just a random photo. I took it. I chose it because I can only create things, Nathan, that I feel. I can't create. A lot of people have come into me saying they'll give me their 5-year-old grandchild and they'll go, "Oh, could you?" Yeah, yeah, I could, but it's not going to be great because I don't feel your grandchild. I'm so sorry, but yeah, yeah, I have to feel. I have to feel
That's
it.
so cool that you take the photo that you want to create.
Yeah.
And you
And if they're overseas, I get them to get some photos done, and this is no word of a lie. If I don't like them, I have to keep going until I see the one,
That's amazing.
and they're happy. Yeah, but this is all part of the journey for them too. So I think there was a woman, and she was in Texas, uh, was the last one I did from overseas, and the poor thing, and I always make sure they get converted into black and white before it gets to me, like all these little things. But they love it because they're seeing so much in them that I'm seeing that's just beautiful, and it's quite an extraordinary, um,
I
experience.
think you could I always say, I accept you, I meet you where you are. I don't care who you worship, if you worship, how you pray, if you meditate.
Mm.
So, but there's something going back to biblical times and the shame of clothing oneself, to cover up, to hide, to and a lot of people still very much subconsciously struggle, and there's a disconnect. So, you are affording people this opportunity to see themselves for how they should, and that's beautiful, and not that.
Ah, get it off.
Yeah,
Like,
it can be
honestly,
really
get it
special,
off.
and, you know, coming from someone who, I've grown up skinny, so in high school, I kicked, in football, I coulda gone to college, it's good that, like but I've always been skinny, I'm 6'3", I'm skinny, and all the
Wow, you're so
yeah,
tall.
so whenever I was in high school, it was "cool," quote, unquote, to be, like, buff, super just people call it meathead now here. Eh, that's
Yeah, I know
not
they do.
me. I've
Jock.
never
Were they jocks?
do what?
Were they called
No,
jocks?
jocks
What were they
no,
called in
I
high
was
school?
technically considered a jock, but me it's like you're just
Oh,
your
what?
body's like a V. You're just
I
huge.
get it. I
Yeah,
get it. Yeah.
and so I would never have got there. So I think that I had developed, which was weird, but probably some, uh, image body dysmorphia or whatever, right?
Wow.
And I'm fit and I
Wow.
was healthy, which is interesting because even in the 20s and 30s now, like, it's cool as hell to be tall and skinny. That's what's
And skinny.
attractive, which is weird
Absolutely.
because that's what I am, but I still have that underlying thing, so I just think it's
Yeah, I
a
get it.
beautiful thing what you're able to do for people, and so
Yeah.
it can be really
And
special.
let's go back on you and myself for how you're getting to where you are in life now and what you're giving out and this whole new journey of yours with your podcasts and everything. I think I do it because I go back to I was so ashamed, like my skin, for so long. So I think I think part of me is wanting all these women to love themselves because I don't want them to dare not because I went through it and it's
Mhm,
bullshit, like it is, it's just bullshit. And just love, just be confident because I am so confident though, more than ever. And I think I even was when I was going through that stuff, like because that girl would never have, I was not afraid of anyone. And no one after high school, no one gave me any hard time because I oozed, I oozed it. But I think the insecure girl was still in there because it can't not be, because it was 7 years of it. So when you go into high school, I'm saying it was 7 years of it in primary. So yeah, you and I, I go on that. I think I realized something on this podcast with you. I think I give them so much of who I am today and to just embrace it
mhm.
all, flaws.
It could be a very beautiful thing, and I think that's also the creator I think creative people are just big they're big lovers. They are. I haven't met someone who's creative that doesn't love big. And
Agreed.
big is, you know, don't necessarily mean it could be different, but big nonetheless. I can't articulate it, but I know what I'm trying to say. So you
I do. I know exactly what
it's
you're trying to say, and it is a
yeah.
feeling. It can be big, big, just
Mhm.
love, like just there's a happiness in there, and yeah, I like some of the mums at my
But
old school
also,
when the
I wanna
kids were
interrupt, but
little, they
also very big
yeah.
sadness though too. It's
Oh
it's
yeah,
like way up
sorry, that's so
and then you just
emotion.
drop.
Yeah,
It's hard
yeah,
to there's n
huge.
there's I need to
Yeah, you
regulate.
can't.
It's yeah,
You're spot
yeah.
on, Nathan. You're
Do
spot
you
on.
so you
It's
your children, are they involved in your creative process whatsoever? I don't know how that would be possible, but is there a creative energy that you get from them somehow?
Oh, if I'm honest, the day that they've all been born, they are my driver without them even knowing it. They're getting a little bit older now, so I can probably start to express this to them because my mum was just, oh, bless her, I love her, but
So
pathetic. Like my dad was this.
you didn't have, like, a loving upbringing in the sense of affection, did you?
No, 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 no. Yes, I did. My dad from this is the thing. This is the torturous. So I've been in therapy. I went to
I encourage
therapy
it.
for a
Everyone who
long
listens, I'm
time.
telling you, they know that I say it is absolutely paramount to go to therapy, regardless if you got it
Oh,
together or don't. Yep.
no one's got it together. Listen, listen. This is what humans. We are so we're so divinely complex
Mhm.
and that we are exquisite beings. And I'm loving that even more as each day goes by. But so my dad was my everything, right? I'm gonna say it as it is. I won't say I'm not gonna give away
Sure.
too much. He won't even listen. We were having a joke because I'm about to go on. There's the Channel 7 here have just done a little segment on me that's going to be aired this. So it's a TV station, nothing huge, but it's going to be cool. And my dad, I said to dad, Baba, I call him Baba, and I said, Baba, I've mentioned a couple of things when I grew up. Ooh, and he just burst into tears. This is how pathetic it is now, because now he's this old man who's got so many
Mhm.
regrets, and he's trying to cry and say, "Don't bring it all up now, Fig." In Italian, he's saying all this, and I'm like, "Shut up! You won't even hear." He's going deaf. I said, "Shut up, Dad. You're not even going to hear what I say on the TV." But it's quite funny, and I'm looking at my mum, and she's like raising her eyebrows. It's just so funny. They just now they've got regret, but we'll never talk about it. So anyway, I've gone off track. Typical
Sweep it
me. What
under
were
a
we
rug.
talking
I was
about?
talking about I was asking if the kids, your children are able to yeah,
That's
and
right.
you said that
The
they're old
therapy
enough
work.
to start to articulate it to them.
Yeah, yeah, because they are I am the mum and that dad that I didn't have to them, and I want them to see a mum that can bring up 3 kids, run a home. Listen, my husband's incredible because he pays all the bills. Thank you, hubby. But I do everything else. I'm at that training session. I coach my middle. So the one of the twins is the middle one. Um, I coach her basketball team. I have my empire, my art. I'm global. And I come home and I'm still cooking their dinner and I'm at the next training session and I'm at their games and I've got 2 horses that I get up and see. I'm living a life that my mum wouldn't have even known how to do one of those things because my dad, she had to be in the kitchen cooking and cleaning and no life. And that ain't gonna
Mm.
be me. So they don't understand. They are my driving force to be this woman. And it's incredible. They're still not able, they'll start understanding
They
soon.
and they will appreciate and love it so much, and there's nothing like a mother. I mean, as a grown man, it's a beautiful thing because people aren't unfortunately, people don't all get that gift of having a mother.
Yeah,
So I think it's
yeah,
really cool
yeah.
what you're doing, and you were talking about grief or I mentioned it, you've lost loved ones before, like, very
Yeah,
close to you. Is
yeah.
traditional when I say traditional, I would presume Italian, but in Australia, when someone dies, is it a very, traditional, the loved one's in a casket, the loved one's buried in the ground? So what
Massive.
Yes. So do you feel comfortable to share your first experience losing someone you love? Do you remember who that is?
Um, yeah, it would be my would be my nonna. But so just so you know, so because we've got such a huge Italian family, we've lost lots. We've lost aunties, I've lost cousins, I've lost nonni, meaning my grandparents. Um, that's and well, it's kind of a bit sad to say, none of it really affected me, but my mother's mother did. Like she was amazing. And Things are changing though, Nathan, and I'm sure for you, we never, us Catholics, Italians would never cremate. It'd be the full on church service, then we go to the burial, and then we're all together for the whole afternoon into the evening. It's a massive family event. Now things are changing. And don't get me wrong, I'm part of that change because I've said to my mum and dad similar. But now we kind of just go to the house, or we'll go and do a quick service, and then we just go and have refreshments. So everything's getting cut down really short now. Um, Also now they're cremating, whereas we never used to do that.
Do
Um,
you all have
I don't
do
mind
you all
that.
have the opportunity to participate in the preparation of? Do you all still do?
Yeah.
Okay, 'cause in the United
Yeah.
States, it was so, uh, probably after World War II, Vietnam specifically, probably, but by that time, they're like, "You know what? They're so grief-stricken. Take it over, funeral director. Take it over. Do all of it for us.
Wow.
Embalm the loved one, have them repose or quote unquote laid out in the funeral home, whereas before the mortician would go to the residence and embalm the loved
Yeah.
one there and then get them ready to be displayed, if you will, at the house. And I think that over time it
Wow.
was just taken it wasn't taken from them. It was almost like, "Here, take over," to the point
Wow.
where now there's very minimal that the family does, but the profession is trying so hard to say,
Well,
"Here, be a part of this," whether it be doing the hair, doing the nails, doing the makeup, helping with the tribute, the obituary tribute, something like that. So you all still participate. It's
yeah.
good.
Yeah, we really do.
Are you scared of that?
Geez, no,
It's good.
I'm actually not. I'll never forget being 50. I think I was my cousin slapped me at the coffin. So we us Italians, and do they do
It's
it?
amazing.
Well,
I
hang
got
on, I'm
punched in the
about to.
face at the
Like, no,
coffin.
no joke, because oh, hang on, let me get this off. No, because do they do open
Oh, yeah.
coffin in any of the
Oh,
services?
yeah.
Yeah, right. So yeah, okay. And my beautiful, God bless my cousin, um, here, um, she won't mind me saying this. My uncle John, who was the youngest in the 7 kids, unfortunately committed suicide, when I was very little. So he hung himself, and because I was still quite young, and you know, a young girl going up to the open coffin, I was curious, so I was trying to have a look at
Mhm.
his neck. Uncle John won't mind me saying this. Um, and my older cousin Anna was behind me. She just came and went, all the family in the church. She comes and whacks me because I'm trying to look at Uncle John's. Oh, bless
Everyone
you, Uncle
has
John.
their funeral home story where that is your "I wanna look behind the curtain" moment. E
Yeah, right.
Everybody has one. It's
Geez, you must have seen so many dead
Yes.
bodies, huh?
Oh, yes. I remember the
Wow.
first loved one I saw. I can still picture her face. I've never seen anyone die, though, which is wild.
Wow.
But, yeah, there's I remember it helps you realize how blessed you are. I remember going to a residence. The woman had been deceased for 4 days. She was a hoarder where she's just kept things. The coroner in the States, the coroner goes, to a place of death where there's no medical professional that's overseeing care. Like, they're not at a nursing facility, they're not at a hospice facility. So, he finally gets in touch with the son and says, "Your mother's died," and he said, "I don't care what you do with her." He was so removed, they had no relationship, and so it was so
Wow.
sad because
Oh,
she died alone with all of her stuff, and I was like, "Wow." And the house
yeah, wow.
literally was demolished with all the stuff and then taken and down it was just such a sad thing after we received the loved one, of course, but
Sad.
the profession makes you
That's
either
sad,
bitter
huh?
or better. There's a lot of grumpy ass old men in the funeral profession.
Oh, I can
Yeah.
imagine. Probably been in there for so long that they've just become numb,
I don't know that
right?
it's a
Or
numbness. I think it's when they're in the 4 walls of the funeral home and they experience the grieving family, they're great. It's whenever they leave that controlled environment, it's very I don't know, they're assholes. Not they as a whole, they j b
no,
because I mean, there are bullies in the funeral profession. When I first started, I had so many bully experiences. I'm like, "Man, they're assholes."
wow.
Yeah, yeah. So, it's
You would
never would have
never,
thought it.
you would never.
Nope. Do you have your artist
She's
friends, do you all co are you all competitive? Is there like a competitiveness about it? Yeah.
no, no, I love it. I love it. And if I ever, and I don't like to think I ever do, but there's been moments if I've ever got a little ooh about someone, I respect them and I won't look at their work because I don't want them to feel any ill feeling until I'm ready to look at their work and admire it. Sometimes it's not jealousy. I think it's like, "Ooh, I wanna do that."
I was gonna
And you
ask,
go, "Hang on a minute."
what is that ooh? Is it, "Ooh, you don't appreciate it, it's not good," or "Ooh, because you're" okay,
Well, it's amazing, and I wanna
got it.
do that. And I always just give everyone, everyone love. And I've said this, and this is no word of a lie. I follow to this day, and I've said this to you already. So I still study Michelangelo. I still study Picasso. Um, I still study Da Vinci because I don't want to go looking at all these incredible artists and getting inspiration from them because I don't want anyone to feel like I'm copying them. Um, so so I've tried my best to grow a bit of Picasso, a bit of Da Vinci, a bit of Michelangelo still, and put it all into one, and then my little spin on it, and then so I've evolved uh, into who I am, and I'm still evolving. I'm changing every day. But there is so many artists that I do look at and admire, and that are here in Australia, but also overseas, LA, um, France, and Italy are my faves.
When you're not working, what are you all and you're not just running around like a chicken with your head cut off with your children, what do you do to just unplug? What's your hobby? What's your thing?
Okay, so I got horses. The two horses. So I get in the car and I escape. They're 2 hours away, and haven't had my regular thing, but normally that's a once a week thing. So that's my ah, breathe in, get my dirty. Oh no, my fingers are always dirty from charcoal anyway, but dirt's dirty. Breathe in those horses. Come home. That's one. Um, I'm I'm a fitness freak, so I box, I run, and I've just recently started back up spin classes. So it's another outlet for me. And yeah, pretty much those things. But I was going to make you giggle because I don't know, do you know,
Oh, no.
this is really embarrassing. I have to
Do it.
say, have you? Yeah, let's do it. So Scrabble, right?
Scrabble, yeah.
Scrabble. There's a game online called
Words with
Words.
friends?
Have you ever heard of it?
Oh my gosh, that's amazing. So you're just playing words with friends, that's amazing. Yeah, it's awesome.
Tell
It's
everybody,
it's
Nathan.
addictive. It's very addictive.
Do you know? No, listen, because I'll tell you how this started. I don't ever switch off. I don't know how to switch off. I don't. It's from right now. We get off this. I'm bolting into the gallery. I want to get my hands dirty on some piece. I've got to leave the gallery by 2:30. I train my girls at 4 o'clock today. At 4:45, I've got to go to my youngest's basketball training, and then at 6, I've got to go. So you can imagine this is a daily occurrence. It's just one thing after another. There's no stopping. So, how this started, this Words with Friends, one of my friends had started it, and she goes, "Let's play some Scrabble together online and we can talk." Oh, I love that because we're together. My besties, my girls are my everything. And that's how it's 7.
It's amazing.
That's like 7 years
That's
ago.
amazing. It is so addictive. It is I will
Play with me, Nate.
absolutely. I will. No one else though. You're listening, no one else,
No one else.
because
No one
it
else.
got to a
Sorry,
point for
guys.
me. I mean, I was playing anybody and everybody. I mean, it was so bad. I'm so good. I know you all have Australian Wheel of Fortune, right? Do you all have
Oh, yeah.
so
Yeah.
it's huge, we have Pat Sajak and Vanna White.
Which watch those shows, though. I
But
can't watch
well,
them.
I only do it
They do
because I just
me.
demolish at it. I'm so good because of where yes,
Oh,
I'm serious. So, yeah. Oh,
rainy man,
qui
you.
a quick question that I want to know that I think is, a beautiful question to ask someone. What do you want when the curtain closes on life for you? What do you wanna be remembered for?
My crazy, passionate, loving, all out self.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Well,
I never
I
yeah. What about you?
I want people to know that I loved them and I tried very hard, and I want my sons to be my legacy. I want them to love the way that I showed love to other people, their mother. Uh, yeah, because I never realized how
That's all
much
of it.
you can love until the other day. It's just, but my two oldest, they're 10.5 months apart. They play on the same baseball team. And
Wow.
my oldest is playing first base, and my youngest on the team, he's the youngest on the team too. So he's a 9-year-old, and he plays on a 10-year-old team, and they call him to pitch. So my little 9-year-old goes up there, and, that's a heavy weight,
Mhm.
right? He pitches
Yep.
for an inning,
Yep.
and he does a hell of a job, and then they go up to bat, and my oldest gets to third, my youngest is up to bat, and he watches a ball come in, and it's called a ball because it was a bad pitch. He gets by him. He jumps out of the way so his older brother can steal home and win the game.
Oh,
And you can call
oh,
me biased all day long, but the way that
oh,
my
y
youngest there looks at
you
his brother in such like, I'm getting choked up thinking of it's the love that I have for them. I want them to always know
yeah,
that that's my legacy. Yeah,
that's just beautiful,
yeah,
Nathan. That's
and
beautiful. How can that not
yeah.
happen? You're just such a good, gorgeous
Well,
soul, and you're giving that to your 2
I
boys.
appreciate that very, very much. I really do, and I'm grateful for you, and I your art has traveled to think about it, and it's touched me. We've been able to connect, and now I'll put it in the description and show notes, but people can where can people admire and take advantage of perhaps supporting you, supporting the art, and maybe purchasing? Where do they go?
Oh, love that. So I have a beautiful website,
It'll
melissalabuzzetta.com.
be in the description
Easy.
in the show notes, and I'm gonna call you do I have the privilege to call you Mel, or is it still Melissa?
Oh, I'd love you to call me Mel. I know I
Thank you.
would. Such a handsome man
Thank
like
you.
you, Nathan. I'd love you to
Thank you
call
so
me
much. I
Mel.
appreciate it. I'm so grateful for you. I'm grateful for you being here with us, and thank you for sharing. It means a lot.
Thank you, Nathan. Honestly, this has been more than I could have ever expected. You are such a beautiful
Thank you.
human to the point, like I'm even feeling a little bit emotional. We haven't even touched on
Hmm.
your story, but I can feel you.
I
And
don't like to talk about me.
um,
I mean, I don't like to talk about me because I think that's the funeral director in me too. Like I'll get interviewed for
I know,
like
right?
um I did a really huge story with here I am talking about me, but Entrepreneur did a
You know what?
huge story on me.
Yeah.
Um, it's a huge publication,
Wow.
and she did so good. Her name was Madeline Garfunkel, and it took her a little bit to get me to talk about myself. No, she's like, "I
Wow.
literally this is about you. I want to." And I'm like, "I just." Yeah,
Wow.
yeah,
But that
I
says a lot. You just said it before, there's a lot starting to unravel. You're just
yeah,
beginning.
yeah.
There's so much we're all going to get from
Hmm.
you because you haven't
Uh-oh.
even started.
Here, I have to switch
Uh-oh.
cameras. Hang on. Oh, no. Hang on. Oh, no. Let me turn this. It's fine.
It's
It's totally
okay.
fine. I can cut that
It's
part
fine.
out. It's totally fine. Oh, no. Now what?
It's
Oh, no. There. Oh, no. Oh, no. What the hell?
oh,
Oh,
no.
no. There it
How
is.
cool
That's amazing.
how cool is your whole
It's amazing.
setup?
So this huge area is like here, let me see if I can do it again where it. Nope. 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 There. So this will actually follow me. Hang on. If it will. So this
Wow.
is just like the
Wow.
console area where the podcast would happen. You can have 3 guests and then over
Oh, I'd love to be a guest in there.
and then over there
One day we might do
and then
that.
over there is like a cool formal like a seating area, and it has just really cool chairs, and then there's a like a lounge area over here, so it's just this huge open space. I do all my vocals
Wow.
for songs. I'll do vocals on a vocal mic over there, and then of course technology. I send it to my producer friend in Montreal, Canada, and that's how we've been
You're amazing.
pumping out these last few records. So it's been awesome.
That is absolutely
Yeah.
amazing. So how can I listen to some of this music?
If you search Nathan Morris on Spotify, Apple Music, wherever you listen and stream, you can find.
Oh my god.
So the first song that really
I
popped off was a song called "Yet." Um, it's that moment as a funeral director, you're off to the side, and you're staring at these family members that are over top of a casket, which is housing the loved one that they're gonna. This is the last time they're gonna see them on this side of life. And it's that "I'm not ready to go yet" moment, and the lyrics are, "Don't wanna say goodbye yet." And so, that song
oh.
reached number 16 in the United States at, radio, which is huge. I'm unsigned, I'm an independent artist, so I don't.
Oh, this is
Yeah,
amazing.
yeah, so it's been overwhelming, and, the next single is a song
Oh,
called "Last Time" that reached top 20 at radio as well. So
well, you're going on my playlist today and I'm gonna
tell me
listen to
which
you
yeah,
creating.
there's I think, I want you to listen to a song that I have released. It's called "Need You to Know." I think you'll get it.
Need
"Need
you
You to
to know.
Know." Yep. So, check that out, and, please let me know what your thoughts are, but I am going to, um, edit this podcast. I'll have an intro for it with to introduce you, and then I'll have, like, an outro, and I'll make sure that I get your website and have it all linked in the description. And
Thank
so
you.
we get, I'd say 3 to 5,000 downloads an episode, which is
Also,
it's not
it's
it's very yeah, it's
amazing.
good. Um,
It's your this is incredible.
so I just
Incredible.
wanna meet people.
I'm
Yeah,
honored.
well, I'm grateful. I think if you just drop pieces of a cookie everywhere and you just give them an opportunity to take a
Yeah,
bite wherever they want to, then that's where we meet them.
yeah.
So, anyway, uh you have to go to your studio
Gallery.
gallery, and I appreciate it. I will absolutely send this over to you in an email once it's done, and, we'll be in
Thank
touch very
you.
soon.
Yeah, I'm looking
Yeah,
forward to it. I can't wait to we'll do this again.
absolutely.
We'll do this
Mel,
again.
I appreciate you more than you
Yeah.
know. Check out Mel's art, all available in the show notes and description. Click the link, support art, support her art, and thanks for supporting me and being here. I appreciate you. You're a lot far more than you could ever know. 196 is in the bag. Put my car keys in my car keys and we'll get the hell out of here. I don't know what that is. Is that kind of like a Bostonian? Okay. I will see you very soon. Become a trier. Check it out in the show notes. All right. See ya.